The challenge of plugging plastic leakage is daunting but solvable. In fact, we have a solution here in Thailand and in other developing countries that can keep non-recyclable plastics out of the dump sites to ensure that it doesn't end up polluting our rivers and seas. For all the success stories out there when it comes to stopping recyclable plastics from entering the world's oceans, that is only one part of the problem. What about non-recyclables, multi-layered flexibles, contaminated and co-mingled plastics that are not easy to recycle and generally end up in dump sites? We can never truly plug plastic leakage if we do not enable collection and energy recycling of non-recyclable plastics, especially if these continue to be sent to dump sites and landfills. As we continue to see, plastics migrate from poorly managed dump sites to reach our streams and oceans. A collection model for non-recyclable plastics can be the enabler that helps plug plastic leakage once and for all. The proverbial elephant in the room is the disposal cost of non-recyclable plastics. Should businesses that manufacture goods be responsible for these costs, or should it be the burden to be passed on to consumers? We are starting to see some large firms embrace extended producer responsibility, EPR, which is a step in the right direction. However, greater commitment from big businesses is required if we are going to completely stop plastic leakage. The finish line is in sight, but we can't stop now. This positive momentum can be built upon through cross-sector collaboration along the value chain and with the help of EPR. One way to do this is to create financial enablers for the collection and processing of non-recyclables. If collection of non-recyclable plastics is incentivized, producers and big brands in particular may be willing to commit to this as a form of EPR. This could be the enabler for the collection of non-recyclable plastics, which is necessary to plug plastic leakage. Here's a look at how the model could look like. Let's think about this in another way for a second. The collection of recyclable plastics around Asia has been enabled by bottom of the pyramid informal waste collection and segregation efforts alongside sustainability leadership at a local level. With no monetary incentive, this collection model will not work for non-recyclable plastics. And that is the biggest challenge preventing us from plugging plastic leakage. While producers remain stagnant, waiting for top-down mandates from governments, they are missing a precious opportunity to be leaders in the fight to plug plastic leakage. There are many ways large companies can close the loop of the circular economy by collecting non-recyclable plastics. For example, they can partner with organizations that manage the collection and incentivize actors across the value chain. Ultimately, if all actors in the recyclables value chain see additional benefits in expanding to collect non-recyclable plastics, everyone will be willing to take part, and the loop of the circular economy for plastics could be closed. Once non-recyclable plastics has been collected, it is easy to dispose of. It can actually be used as fuel for power and energy-intensive industries. In Thailand, for example, these non-recyclable plastics combined with other waste materials is completely destroyed in ultra-high temperatures of the cement kiln process. At the moment, energy recovery from non-recyclable plastics in cement kilns depend on landfill mining activities. This process, while helping stop plastic waste from reaching our rivers and seas, is costly and inefficient. It is nothing more than an end-of-pipe solution. Landfill mining is not a sustainable business, and it won't be easy to scale up if it's dependent on fossil fuel prices. This is why only a collection model for non-recyclable plastics can be a true enabler. It's not the lack of technology or effort, but rather a lack of materials that prevent energy recovery from being utilized on a more widespread basis. This takes us back to cross-sector collaboration and EPR. If companies were to embrace these concepts as it relates to the collection of non-recyclable plastics, plugging plastic leakage would become far closer to becoming a reality. Maybe this alone is incentive enough for businesses to start developing collection methods for non-recyclable plastics. If not, we must find other financial enablers that can get the ball rolling. Building a circular economy requires commitment from everyone to take initiatives today as opposed to waiting on others to make the first move. As we've seen firsthand with recyclable plastics, as soon as a few companies begin to take action, others quickly follow and the momentum grows. Plugging plastic leakage through energy recovery is only the first step. The future could see sustainable chemistry processes being enabled to recover virgin raw materials from non-recyclables, allowing us to become even more circular. The opportunities are endless. But before that can begin, we need to focus on plugging plastic waste leakage with the tools that we already have at our disposal. That starts with harnessing the full potential of recovery from non-recyclable plastics by developing sound collection models through extended producer responsibility.